Going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, and today I got two special guests. I got Noah Gathings and Azyah Brown, Jackson College teammates now. How does it feel to be teammates?
Go ahead. Oh shit. Um, Honestly, it's pretty cool. Like this is our first time getting to be like teammates in a more serious setting. Like we had played together one summer with SI Select. Well, actually, no, we played together earlier when we played with EBC when we were in Indy, and that was actually how we met and stuff. So this is like a bit more serious, a lot more to gain from it. So like it's different.
Definitely. And my decision to kind of come here was pretty late in the summer. I want to say like first couple of weeks of August, so everybody was kind of getting acclimated with their teams already, and I kind of hopped into the mix pretty late. But I'm glad I made that decision. I've just been getting gelled in with the guys some more. I knew I had a kind of relationship with them before, just from him from last year, just kind of talking to them. But it's been a good experience so far.
What was your process, Noah, like trying to come to Jackson? Because I know you went prep before and you could have went somewhere else. What was like your decision into going prep instead of going to college right after high school?
So initially I was going to be a preferred walk-on at Central Michigan. And I liked the program there, and it just for what I wanted or for my goals, as a basketball player, I didn't think that would be a good fit for me. So I kind of decided to make that switch real late. And I couldn't really find a college since it was school year. The school year had started for most colleges at that point. So it was a hectic process with finding a school, getting enrolled, and all of that. But I don't regret it at all. I think I needed that year to develop both mentally and physically. Just kind of a lot of growing up I had to do, but it's definitely prepared me for where I am now.
Absolutely. So you're going in your second year at Jackson, Azyah. What are you kind of trying to prove this year from last year? What's like the differences?
I mean, this year, like really just showing overall like my ability to like score. Like last year, especially like I kind of was dealing with a bit of nagging injuries, and like they kind of kept me from being as aggressive as I could have been a lot of the time. But like this year, just like being consistent and being confident in my shot. Like I spent a lot of time this summer like working on it, just in like different situations and like kind of learning how to like score within an offense, but at the same time still being me and like just being aggressive with my looks. So like
So,
that's one of the for sure.
so was your shot like the main thing you worked on this summer, or were there other things you kind of touched on throughout the summer?
I definitely touched on a lot this summer. I mean, my shot, like being more consistent with it, was one of my biggest like things that I wanted to focus on, especially being like I shot a low volume last year. Like this year, just like, finding looks and stuff. I really spent a lot of time like learning the game though, and like just like looking at it at higher levels, this level, and even lower levels, just like figuring out like what works and seeing like different ways that people score, like paying a lot of attention to like players my size and kind of like seeing like looks that they get, and then players smaller, players bigger, like, just kind of like taking in as much as I can.
Yeah.
And working on getting quicker. That was really one of my biggest things that I focused on this year, was getting quicker and being able to guard more positions.
Who's somebody you like model your game after?
Um, Honestly, for me, I definitely say like I love a lot of the like more skilled players, like Kevin Durant, guys like that. But like,
Yeah.
especially in regards to guys, I like to take after guys like Brandon Ingram. But then at the same time, being more of a Swiss Army knife type guy, I like Draymond. Surprisingly, like being able
Yeah.
to do it all, go out there and defend, and then also like go out there and like I can make a lot of plays for my teammates as well. And just
Yeah, I
like
mean,
being
it's
able
important to be able to do everything because it gives you more opportunities to stay on the court. Because the more you can do, the more opportunities the coach is going to give you. But so, how has practice been so far for you guys? Because the season hasn't started yet. So, how's practice been?
It's been pretty solid so far. I've actually been sitting out the last few weeks, just due to like the same nagging injuries, and I had to get some injections in my knees, just for like some tendonitis I was dealing with. But the guys, they're looking pretty sharp so far. Just for I think last year they had a lot of freshmen, so some guys are brought back. But adding in those new pieces and putting it all together, it's looked good so far. Just for the 3-4 weeks we've been in the gym so far, so it looks hopeful for this season. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
see what'll play.
What are your guys' goals as a team this year? What are you guys trying to accomplish?
Oh, definitely nationals. I mean, like we upped our schedule this year. We see some top schools like South Suburban and stuff like that when we go out to Illinois. They actually won nationals last year. Like, we played them early on in our season last year, and like for us at the junior college level, it's like we're definitely gonna see a lot of schools, but like I think ultimately we'll win our conference first because it's pretty competitive here just in our conference alone. Like it's really known here in the Midwest, but you know, our conference in Michigan is one of the best I say in the country. Like, I mean, it's a lot of like guys who can play at a higher level. It's just a matter of, really digging in and trying to like, figure out what's the best way to do it. And I know it's like everywhere in regards to like how it's gonna be, but it definitely is. It's a lot to just digest in regards to starting with just winning conference and then from there winning nationals. But that's definitely our main two goals, I would say.
And I want to
You guys
add,
have a lot of like like new pieces to this team that are like going to contribute this year from last year.
Definitely. I mean, I think from this year, like we definitely like found ourselves a lot within last year. And we also switched from the west side of our conference to the east, which is a bit more athletic and more fast paced. So it's like with our new pieces, we really built around that and guys who can like, bring versatility, like even Noah, for example, he's someone who can be that combo guard, combo wing. And then he can also bring a lot of high level shooting, what I mean, and high level defense. And then like with our other young pieces, they're bringing even more, just athleticism and like the capability to really, be versatile and guard multiple spots. That's really what our team has been built on this year, especially is like, being able to just be versatile and everybody
Exactly.
be able to. Yeah.
What were you going to say? No, I wasn't trying to cut you off there. What were you going to say?
okay, I was, obviously, with going to JUCO, the goal is to make it to the next level. But I would say definitely with our team, everybody wants to make it to that next level. And like I said, that's a goal for most schools. But you see it. Staying after practice, getting up shots early in the morning. The culture is just a little bit different here. So and you could tell that everybody's a little more driven. So it's kind of just it's good to see that, and it's a good sign.
So you're playing your first season of college basketball, Noah. So like what's like one thing you want to prove to everybody?
I mean, for me, I kind of tried to avoid, proving myself to people. I kind of getting into that. It kind of affects me mentally. I just want to make sure I can go out there and just, compete. And I have my own goals, obviously, but our team goals too. I want to make sure those are met to the best of my ability, everybody else's. So that's kind of the biggest goal, and then just sharpening up on my weaknesses. For example, at prep school, one of my goals is to become a much better defender. Going out wing and guarding, the top scorer, second leading scorer. Just being one of those guys that's willing to do the dirty work, I guess, or do the job that nobody wants to do. So, still trying to figure out what my role will be when I come back, fitting in because I haven't been practicing yet. But I'm excited, just to see what's in store.
How was like playing at prep for you? How was that experience?
It was definitely an experience. I was so it was the first time being away from home. And it was kind of strange because not strange, but it was just aspects of high school and college, merged together. So it was kind of it was definitely a new experience, but we played a lot of top teams: Brewster Academy, Putnam Science, Woodstock Academy, and those are all top prep schools on the East Coast, kind of in that New England area. So getting to play against highly ranked players, other top pros grad teams, just getting that game experience was really big for me. And just
Did you play any insane did you play any top ranked players while you were over there?
We did. We played Dallas. I think that's how you say his name. I think he's third ranked in the country for the 2023 class. Or he was, I don't know. The rankings fluctuate always, but he's I think he's in the top 10. You know, he's pretty good. 6'9" wing. You know, he can do it all. He's real athletic, can shoot. You know, so and just, you know, but really it's just about going out there and hooping. You know, I was stars, you know, like a lot of guys I've seen play against high level competition like that. So it was just fun to get out there and see how I matched up against them.
Oh
yeah, it's definitely fun. It's definitely fun.
Definitely to go on to the playing against like high level guys, especially during my season prep. When we played IMG, like we played IMG, we played Oak Hill, we played Mount Zion prep where Tracy McGrady had went. We had played a lot of schools. Honestly, I went to Aim High and stuff, but like in regards to high level, I played against Cam Thomas at Oak Hill. That was, and Derek Jones also. He was pretty nice too.
You play, and Derek Jones is nasty. He's crazy.
His bounce was like that in real life. Like the afro really be at the rim, like no exaggeration, like that. But like, granted, it was like even in game, it was like he wasn't really like able to get to a lot of those as much as you would think. Like with that type of athleticism, it's like he was really like able to use other abilities too. It's like you'll see a lot of those guys. It's different than on like a lot of the highlights. Is like there's stuff that they do have that like you don't see, but then at the same time, it's like it's a lot easier to like if you're like up there, it's a lot easier to see, and like you can see how easy it is for them to, you know, handle that type of lower level competition. But at the same time, you can see how easy it is to really like compete against guys if you
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So
I know you mentioned to me before that you played against like Kenyon Martin Jr. and Jaden Ivey. So like how was it playing against those two guys? Because I mean, Jaden Ivey's in the league now. I mean, he's a stud.
Yeah. Jaden Ivey was when we played Lalu. That was the year when they like beat Prolific and all of those guys. And like when we played, Jaden Ivey was definitely like the whole star like stuff was there definitely then, but I don't think his game was as like it was still a lot more raw at the time when we had played them. Like it was a matter of I matched up against him a few times and stuff like that, and like I didn't get to see the like dynamic downhill speed then that he like showed now, like just like how he can control it in like, you know, those transitions and stuff like that, like he does. He like I know he put in a lot of work, you know, especially like with his mom in regards to like just getting that ability to like I know how you see how he always gets the job comparison around that time. I know that he has spent a lot of time like, you know, working out with the same people. And that's where like that ability had come from, I think. And just, you know, seeing it up close, it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be back then. But like Kenyon Martin, that one was a different story. Like the athleticism, that was really being like NBA ready that day. Like I remember it was in transition because like I had got a 3 off like over 2 guys, like banked it in like on some lucky type note, and like they just would throw it out to him. One dribble from like the 3, and then he just took off like a step in from like the 3, like off one.
Oh my God.
Was at the rim the whole time until he dunked it. Like overtime was at the game. Like I got
Good
some
Lord.
Played them, but like yeah, he got a clip against us on his on one of his mixes. Like he had hit a 3 against me from like, and it's like crazy because you would really think like that his game would be somewhat different, but like unlike the other guys, like, you know, Cam Thomas and even like Jaden Ivey, his game was completely like it looked like on highlights, where it was just dunks and trying to play above the rim for sure. It definitely was.
I don't know. I feel like there's some guys like in high school, especially that are like mixtape players. Like you'll like look at their highlights and they'll be like crazy. Like Mccollum was like one of those dudes who like, he was still crazy good, but like, he wasn't like dunking all the time. Like he had like a bunch of like mid-range pull-ups and like, he's a good 3-point shooter. Like he did a lot more than like
There's
you see on the highlights.
a lot of guys with really complete games, and that's kind of like what I feel, especially now, what like holds a lot of guys back from like really wanting to complete their games. Like they don't see all of that stuff on the highlights. Guys who have the ability to play with pace and like they can slow down and then take shots. Like I mean, now I'm thinking there's starting to be a bit more of a turn because of like skilled players just being like able to be more flashy in a sense. But like definitely just like players like no like play and like just find their shots and like work within an offense is completely different than just like getting the ball and it's ISO when I got all the space to just do whatever I
Yeah.
want. And I know it definitely in the collegiate level, and I mean even at the prep level I seen it a little bit where it was like that help is way different when it's three guys coming over and then you
Yeah.
trying to so it's like if you're not playing at a higher level and it's just you, then it's like way different than what I mean, versus if you're at like the prep or if you're at like, even if you're at a low level in college, it's like you're gonna see completely different defensive schemes and stuff like that. And then, like it just makes it a difference. But
is there like anything in your game specifically that you like thought you needed to work on that like you want to like showcase this season to make sure like everybody knows like this is the underrated part of my game and I know how to do it well? Like, is there anything in particular?
for me personally,
Yeah.
for I was like, I didn't know if it was for both, but definitely my passing, bro. Like
I'll say the same too.
my passing has been like super underrated for a long time. Like, and I definitely know this because of like for a long time I was considered like I was playing undersized big. I mean, I was only 6'4", 6'5", and as I got taller, it kind of still made sense. But like I developed my game to really be predicated where I can play wherever. So it's like now, being that guy who can be like the small ball four, it's like easy for me to like, draw attention, what I mean, on my drives, and then I can hit shooters wherever, what I mean? Like having that ability has always been something I had. And just like being able to find my teammates on cuts and stuff and transition. It's like even when I was like really slow and like I was like, what I mean, what I looked like when I was a bit younger.
Yeah.
What I mean? The ability to kind of pass on the post, or I could be on some like, so just really like showcasing my passing ability. I think this year I'll really get a better chance to like put that on the showcase in the forefront for sure.
Because I was about to say, because I watched like your highlights and you were like passing the ball, like you were like fitting it into pretty tight windows at times. I was kind of surprised. I was like, he sees the court very well. Because like you bring the ball up like at times. Like are you planning on bringing the ball up more this year? Are you going to be like running the offense and like making sure like things flow at first?
I mean, that's why I like kind of going back into earlier, like where I found more of a role in regards to finding my shot. Is like now instead of like in transition, I really do want to have a lot more shots. Just in regards to our offense, where I may be trailing and I'll just get the the swing back three, or I may be like if it's like certain rebounds and like certain times where I think I'm more prone to pick and choose my spots now. Like definitely do want to have like I have more opportunities where I see myself bringing it and kind of facilitating earlier offenses. But like especially with this year, how many guards who are like really able to be ball dominant, it's like I don't really have to show as much, facilitating from the beginning of the offense. I may, take the role where I may go and spot up corner, or I may be cutting, or I may even rim run. It's just like kind of really situationally based. You know what I mean? So it's like now knowing how to pick my spots, I think I will more than I did last year, but at the same time, it's going to be really like smart about when I'm doing it, just in regards to our flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Related.
So Noah, do you know like what your role this year is going to be with the team? Like, what do you think you'll be doing exactly in the offense?
I think I'll probably be. I know we have some scores, but I'll probably definitely be one of the shooters, if that's at least, at the very least, just with spot ups, coming off screens, pull ups. But I think I'll probably end up being more of like a two-way type of guy, and like I said, just defense was one of those things I wanted to improve. So, just continuing to build off of that. And then, like you said, with passing is another thing I want to improve on. Just kind of being in between that combo guard where I was never really the focal, like running the offense, facilitating. But sometimes I'll put in that position so I can make plays at times. But rebounding is another thing I want to work on as a guard. 6'4". I'll probably be one of at the 2 guard, probably be bigger than most at this level. And 6'10", 6'11" wingspan. I want to be able to just crash the glass and try to get as many more opportunities for our team as I can. So those are really the 2 main things.
Are you going to take like the best player on offense and just guard him defensively? Are you willing to take those challenges this year since you do have such a long wingspan? Because I mean, there's guys like George Hill who steal the ball all the time. I mean, I feel like you could have an impact like that.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I still will figure out what my role is, especially coming in kind of late with the injury recovery and everything with that. But definitely I'd be willing to do that. And I know there'll be some learning curve still just with getting more game experience, but I'm willing to take that. If it means I can make the team better, get better myself. So it's kind of just how I've been looking at it so far.
So how are your knees? How long has that been kind of going on for exactly?
It's been going on for a while, just kind of that nagging tendonitis, didn't give myself adequate enough rest over the past year or so, and kind of had to play through that at prep school. And that was a battle. Just kind of, we didn't have, the best athletic training staff. So, you know about that. So, kind of just was on my own with that for a while. But they've been improving, exponentially since I've gotten those injections. That's a really good sign. We slowly been doing pool workouts, really, just to low impact stuff, but still getting in that conditioning, still getting in that movement to slowly work my way back. I'm excited to finally be able to play, as close to 100% as I can. I probably expect for, a little pain to still be there for, the first couple 2 to 3 weeks coming back. That'll be so much better than where I was at, over the summer even. I'm just happy to be in this position now.
So you were dealing with the knee injury during the summer as well?
Yeah. And then I spent that was one of the, things, I don't say things I want to work on, but, I learned a lot about my body during that time, just with kind of a lot of trial and error, figuring out which workouts, strengthen that area, strengthen the tendons, strengthen the muscles around it, and then figuring out, how much is too much in terms of working out 2 times a day, 3 times a day. I remember the summer after my senior year, after I graduated, I was going 2-3 times a day, go run pickup, 2-3 days out the week. So it was just a lot. Like I said, not giving myself enough rest and just not treating my body nearly as well as I am now. And just the knowledge I've gained over just that short amount of time, has really helped me.
So I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned high school and stuff like that. I know you kind of had a tough high school experience, and you still kept your head up, which I really kind of admire, because a lot of players, they get super discouraged and they quit basketball because they don't play. How did you get through that? Because you just kept your head down and kept working hard. What made you keep doing that?
It was really a really tough situation, or just a tough experience, kind of just always feeling like I was getting better and better over each year, even though I kind of just looked at myself more as a late bloomer. So probably my freshman through about junior year, there's still a lot of development I needed to do, but kind of once I felt like I got to a certain point and I still wasn't playing, definitely was really frustrating, but just staying intrinsically driven, not kind of worrying about what's going on, outside of what I can do. That really helped me. And then, just success outside of school ball, and AAU, that, just those little small successes, definitely, propelled me forward. So, faith in God as well. That's the biggest thing. I can't stress that enough, that I've grown in my journey with Christ, exponentially over the past, year and a half or so, 2 years. ever since I want to say COVID hit. I always had that relationship, but as I got closer, started to look at things a little bit differently, and that helped me in the basketball aspect. Just with just the way I went about certain things. So and then just trusting in him. That was the biggest thing. Staying focused on what I can do in this particular moment, and that he'll take care of the rest, and he truly does. So I'm just coming here, I almost quit playing basketball, went to Arizona State, as a student, and just I felt in my heart, place this passion in my heart for a reason. So I might as well go on and pursue it. And I prayed on it, and I just felt like that was the right decision. So that has really been the biggest thing for me. I'll say post high school, but a little bit before, just kind of I had that in the back of my mind, but more so just same principles, but kind of understood the source a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So for you, Azyah, you are now at the same school 2 years in a row now. You never had that in your college career. How does it feel to be in like the same environment for like another season?
Dude, honestly, like, it's weird because like most of my life, like I've always had to like move and adapt. So it's like for this to be the first time where I'm coming back into a situation, that was honestly like what was one of the biggest like parts of my decision when coming back. You know what I mean? Like I had gotten offers out of last year to go into some, smaller D2 schools, like, Division II schools, and did some D1 JUCOs, and I had some conversations with some Division I schools and stuff, just about even setting up business and things like that. But it was like I had nothing that was as sure of this, as sure a thing of this as this is, until this point. It was like really looking at it. It was like, with my coaching staff, bringing them all back, and then coming back in, it was just like looking at it. It was like it's a situation where I was like I felt like I had unfinished business for the most part. It was like I was hurt at the end of the year. And then with the situation with my mom, my mom passing during my season, that really, it was a lot for me, and feeling as if I wasn't able to even focus on basketball as much as I wanted to. It was like that was the only thing that really kept me going in regard to even trying to come back to school at that point. It was like if I don't, then I don't have basketball. So that was kind of the only thing
that's tough, man.
It just like it did. It really like it meant a lot to me that my coach and the guys here kind of start to feel more like family than just a team to me. So it was like it definitely was just the best move in regards to my future and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So how's the dynamic duo between you guys? Am I going to see some alley-oops between you guys this year?
Definitely. I mean, since last year, I mean, I know that we've worked a lot of different stuff. Seen some of the clips when we went down to Bloom. You know what I mean? Like it's all going to be there for sure. Like that's no facade. Definitely going to be there.
Who's going to be throwing the lob? Is it going to be you or Noah?
Probably a little interchangeable.
I was going to say it just depends on the day.
I'll be able to get a few.
So you touched on like talking to D1 schools and stuff. So is this the biggest season of your college career this year?
Yeah, honestly, this is my last year that I can play in junior college. Granted, I could I could have went and got another year of eligibility if I wanted to, but it was like this year I got enough credits already accumulated for me to graduate. So it's like after this year, I have to, I do have to go on and see where I got my last 2 years of, from my academic and athletic career, and see what happens after that. Because, I definitely do have, goals and dreams to play beyond there, but just taking it step by step,
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to like, how like, do you know how many points a game you want to average? Because I mean, I know your expectations because you want to have a crazy year. I know you. It's like, I don't know. Is there something you want to go up in certain areas?
I definitely want to at bare minimum average a double. Nah, that's gas. At least a double. With these, I think just to really put forth, just like credit to the work I put in over the summer. I think I can easily average a double double, just by crashing the boards and getting easy points. In regards to throw out a real number, I mean, it's kind of hard to do in regards to just, I could say anywhere between 10 and 20 points, 10 and 28 point. Like I could go anywhere with it, but it's like, I'll be happy and satisfied with my, as long as we're winning and I'm contributing to that, honestly. And it's like, I know with that said, it's like the bare minimum I feel myself really being able to put out is at least 12 and 12 every game, and that's just to set a low end standard for myself, just in regards to, I know some nights I may not have the best, like, my shot may not always fall the same way, or I may not be getting to the line as much, but I know that just in regards to playing hard and finding, just putting forth effort and stuff, like I know that I can at least do that much. And then on the defensive end, I still want to, put forth at least another all defensive type of performance, multiple times throughout the year, where it's to the point where it's almost 10 blocks, almost 8 steals, things like that, where it's like I'm really just getting after it on both sides of the ball. And averages, it's like I know they'll be there because it's like I want to get after it every game, so it's like, I don't know. That's kind of
yeah. So this question, I'm not taking a jab at you, but 54% from the free throw line, like, come on, what's up with that, man?
Dude, I shot a low volume of free throws, honestly. Like, of the games that I think I only shot free throws in about like 6 or 7 games. And it was like, there was a few games where I got to the line times and I only made like 4 free throws. And granted, a lot of that came down to just me rushing through my shot, not going through my routine, really like looking at it, putting the ball through the net. You know what I mean? Overall, I knew that I needed to become more confident in my shooting. And that's why I just was really focused on reps with my shot. Is really being able to know this, if my mechanics are right, the shot's going in, and really having that type of confidence is where I'm at with it now. So it's like, we won't see nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I did. I always look back at that and I was like, sheesh, that's crazy.
Do you go back and like watch your game film and stuff to like kind of break down, see what you could do better?
Yeah, of course. Watching film, like I had actually brought it up earlier, it was like really learning the game and like taking from a lot of the guys who I've seen at the top, like what are the things that they do? Like what is it that helps them excel? And a lot of people had talked about watching film and really like outside of knowing your opponent, knowing yourself, knowing what mistakes you make and like openings you have, like, knowing what type of angles you can get, just like really like breaking it down to that level. Like I've started to notice a great difference in my game, now, and then just like from back then, just seeing those types of things and having them translate. Like you'll see it when you're on the court, and then it's like, oh, this is what I could have done last time.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, and it just slows so much. Yeah.
I mean, you want the game to be as slow as possible because you want to be able to read the defense and make the right play. I mean, that's all you want to be able to do at the end of the day. But for you, Noah, what was your decision like process? Because to come to Jackson, like, were there other schools you were looking at beforehand?
Not really too much. This was one of the few opportunities I had. I talked to some D1s actually, pretty late on in the year, and a lot of the stuff with the transfer portal going on. Just weren't spots at most of the schools I had talked to. And like I said, I was enrolled in ASU. So I was, almost about to be shipped off out there,
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, bro. That's nuts.
Process, yeah. With our coach hitting me up, it was like the first week of August. Like I said, I just made that decision that I wanted to, take one more shot at it, and keep pursuing my passion. So, but I made that decision, and I definitely think, just as I've kind of progressed, that I will probably need, to at least get 1 year solid college basketball and, getting used to the game speed, getting used to this, this level, the things that come
Yeah,
with it on and off. So, just like I said, taking it one day at a time.
exactly. That's all you can really do is just keep working. Because every day is a new day. I mean, everything changes pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be on the bench and you could be starting the next day. I mean, it's kind of how it works. But you said, I know you mentioned like I want to like go back to your injuries and stuff. Were you like able to work on your game a lot? Like since you were hurt last summer?
I was, but it was just a lot of kind of having to work around that. I had to play through pain a lot at first, coming back from prep school because the pain was just really bad. And, I had to get back to a base point just with, I lost a lot of weight at prep school. So coming back, being in the weight room just really consistently, at first I kind of was, I don't know what it's called, but just being in the gym by myself, kind of feeling a little bit self-conscious, getting over that hump to just little things like that,
Yeah.
Kind of just really locking in on what I need to do. And then, except for, just playing through that pain, that was kind of just something I had to deal with.
Yeah.
Kind of just the pain level varied throughout the summer, but was kind of around a 6 or 7 most of the time. So it was pretty bad, but at that point, I'd kind of been so used to it. It was like, I understood that, there were certain things I wouldn't be able to do that would just, be pretty painful. I just to change my game up a little bit, in a way that was beneficial for me because I had to focus on, more skillful aspects of my game.
So were you like rehabbing in a sense or not really?
Kind of like both at the same time. I was doing a lot of like strengthening exercises for that tendon. I took a lot more rest days, and that was something I emphasized this summer. With me kind of always just going. I played AAU that previous summer, the one before last, and just 4 or 5 games a weekend, on top of me working out. Going to different college elite camps, just to see if I get my foot in the door anywhere. Those aren't, the best for that, but just to at least give myself some type of shot, So just definitely just, like I said, focusing on a lot of the little things this summer and, just trying to do the best I can playing through that injury. So now, that it's improved, I'm excited to see, how it'll turn out, how I'll look now.
Yeah. So you guys went to a camp in Orlando this summer. What camp was that exactly? Can you like tell me more about that?
Yeah, that was one of the Juke All-American Showcase. I think that was like the open invite. Yeah, me, Noah, and one of my other teammates, one of my old teammates, we all went down, and it was different. Like, I've been to their camps before. I got invited to their All-American Showcase last year in Atlanta, and then I got invited back to that one in Atlanta for this session after this year. But Orlando was different. It was like an entirely different experience. It was like, you're down there and like we played like threes and stuff like that, but it was like a bunch of just basketball, like just playing like runs almost in front of like a lot of schools that were down there. And it wasn't a bad experience. It was just definitely one of those where it was like
just a little different.
Yeah, it just was like real taboo, to be honest, like just in general. But it was like crazy because like some of the people we had seen down there, like I don't know if you like super familiar with the mixtape culture, but a few years back, I don't know if you remember, Julian Newman was like playing against a little kid.
He was there.
Yeah,
and he's small. He's a small. Is he as small as he looks on YouTube?
Yeah, nah, he probably got a little bit bigger, like since the video, but that's not really saying much. He was tight small. Nah, he was definitely tight small, but like he was nice.
Yeah, he's solid.
He was definitely solid. Like he was down there, and then crazy thing when I was at Atlanta at the other Juke All-American Showcase, Sharif Cooper's brother, his twin brother, was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Omar. Yeah, he was there as well, and I seen him there.
Yeah, I've seen his. So. I saw his highlights the other day.
Yeah, he was pretty solid too, from what I had seen. I got to actually chop it up with Omar Cooper, their
Oh,
dad.
okay.
Talked to him for a bit before one of their games and stuff. And then Tia Cooper was there too. Their whole family was there, I think. It's crazy.
Wait, Sharif on the Hawks right now?
Dude, honestly, I don't
That
even
might
know.
have been.
I think he got waived.
Yeah,
I think he
but
got
at
I,
that
I
waived.
want to
time,
say I want to say he was
But
on
I
the
don't know.
Pacers, but I can't remember.
Yeah. I think
I
the
don't know
Hawks
why.
waived. I think the Hawks usually
yeah,
waived him because he had a two-way. But then I think he's about to I think he signed in the Indy, yeah.
I remember everyone saying he was going to be next Kyrie when he was coming out of high school. I was
Nah,
like,
facts.
he
I don't know,
snaps.
bro. He be getting to it. Like he always had got to it though. Like I think for him, it's definitely just finding like his niche. It's like it's different than it is when you're younger because it's a lot easier to get your shot off. Like bigger guys aren't as athletic, so it's like just working little stuff like that. I think could definitely take a player's game to another
Yeah,
level, especially a guy like him, because his handle and his ability to get to his spots is always going to be there. So
yeah.
it's like he just got the way to, you know what I mean?
So like
Yeah.
Noah, who's somebody like model your game after exactly?
Um, I kind of like watching a little more underrated guys. CJ McCollum, Anthony Simons. Those are two guys that I
Oh,
like. And
okay.
he's actually one. He's kind of compared me to was Anthony
Yeah.
a little bit. The
Yeah.
athleticism, not so much. I got a little bit of bounce, but not like that. But just really skillful guys. They are really good at getting to their spots. A lot of good at working off of counters. I know CJ. He has a counter for almost everything you can throw at him.
Yeah,
So just watching that and then just being real efficient. That's another thing. Because you never know. Just you might get 3 shots a game. You might get 8. It'll change
yeah.
between each game. So just getting those looks and executing them when you can is the biggest thing.
So how do you like keep your head up when you don't get the amount of shots you want? Because like I know both of you guys want to take the most amount of shots you can. You want to have the ability to score, especially you, Azyah, because you want to improve in scoring and show you can score the ball. It's like, how do you guys like handle that if you don't get the shots you want?
For me, I like I said, the passing, I kind of will try to get other guys involved if I can't get my shot. Whether that's hitting guys on cuts, trying to be a leader on offense. Getting guys their shots, getting their looks, and then just contributing to the game in other ways. Defensively, just even on the bench. Being a good teammate. Because those things, with top teams, you can see the difference. Everybody on the bench, is cheering. They're excited genuinely for their brother. So just being a positive energy on and off the court, or whether I'm on or off the floor. Just however I can contribute to us winning.
And how about for you, Azyah?
Yeah, pretty much similar. Like for the most part, I mean, when it comes down to my scoring, I never really tend to find myself forcing. Like I have a lot of like stuff that I can kind of fall back to that I know I usually get buckets from. But it's like for the most part, it's really just kind of letting it come to me. It's like really that's where I'm like taking the next step with my game because it's like I can definitely like after a while of not getting some shots up, it's easy
Yeah,
for me to I can always fight and go and get a board, and then it's like from there it's like whether I'm just pushing it and I'm trying to go and find the shot, it's like just learning to like really let the game come to me and just kind of like taking what I can get and then building. You know what I mean? Kind of like making the defense like react to me and then just going from there. It's just, a matter of being balanced within that because I did. For the longest, I was a bit of an overpasser. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I could find myself giving up good looks for myself because I was looking to pass a lot. So it's like kind of finding that balance and just knowing like, all right, here's the moment to go and get one. You know what I mean? All right, let's swing it around one more time or go set up a good screen. You know what I mean? Go box out. Like, just making a good cut. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. Like putting myself in positions to try and score a game is usually what I would do. and then just always forgetting about the last play, especially when it's not going well for myself. Always just keeping that mindset where it's like, you know what I mean? It didn't happen if I miss, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Yeah.
Are you like the number one guy on offense to score the ball this year for the team?
It's weird. I wouldn't say that primarily because it's more or less in places. Like for me, I definitely think I'm our biggest inside presence, but then it's like at the same time, there's a lot of guys who are gonna have more, ball handling duties. But then there's also, and those guys may, find their shots too. You know what I mean? So it's like it's gonna definitely be a blend of it. I think, as a part of the team, just in general, I think I'm one of the guys who can bring a lot of versatile scoring, which a lot of our guys can do. But I'm saying like on all three levels, I definitely know that I'm gonna, help carry that load as much
Yeah.
as I can while, remaining a good teammate through and through and not just going out there and just, taking my shots because I can or because there's some expectation of them. But, just being balanced and being, I mean, a player who's really letting the game just be natural. But
So how does
through.
coach, how you guys going to be playing? You guys going to be playing fast, or are you guys going to be in the half court a lot? Or how's coach have you guys playing?
Probably pretty fast. Just from what I've heard from some of our teammates that played last year, a lot of buckets came from transition. But even in the half court, we have freelance offense, but like more so in the system. Not a whole lot of sets, but within those sets, it's real interchangeable. Anybody can play any position. So he might be on the wing, I might be on the block. And we'll just fly around all throughout that offense. But it's set up for anybody to get their shot. So just I would say probably a mixture of both, but more so fast. Just from what I've heard and what I think our goal will be just in our plan of attack.
Is your offense pretty positionless? Like, are there a lot of guys on your team that are going to be handling the rock?
Yeah, for the most part, I think, especially like with how our team is set up, our coach wants everyone to be able to handle the ball, especially to a certain extent, where it's like to the point where it's not a worry of, if I'm bringing it up as the tallest guy or if it's one of our other guys, bringing it up as one of our smallest guys. It's just a matter of if you're bringing it up, how fast are we getting into it? Are we getting into it correctly? And, just kind of going from there because it's definitely going to be a lot of like high octane offense, but with that all driven off of it being like really, 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 really precise and like being organized, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's easy to just run, but to run and then run a system is going to be, what my coach is really, what with our coach is really like, big on. And that's because, he knows that all of his guys have higher level goals for where they want to go. So, being able to just do that and work within that is going to be big.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's going to be your toughest opponent in your conference this year, you think?
Our conference definitely got a lot tougher. I mean, some of the guys from last year went on to some pretty decent schools. We had some guys go on to Central, had some guys go to like Cleveland State, Wright State, schools like that. Some nice mid-major competition and stuff like that had just left and was replaced with even higher level guys. Like we got some guys that just transferred back down from D1s. We got a guy coming in from Northern Illinois that's going to be at one of the schools we play. I can't think of what school, but I would say definitely like within our conference, we usually have the same schools that are sitting at the top in the East, and it's Henry Ford, Mccollum, and I don't know. I mean, St. Clair was really good last year, but I can't sleep on schools like Mott either because they usually have a really good team and they tend to always be very competitive.
So is like coach preaching like we got to win conference, or is he not really? Well, like what's his expectation for you guys? Has he like told you?
Yeah, he definitely his mindset is definitely the same. I would say like he knows that it starts with us winning the conference, winning the East. I mean, that's those other schools that I named in our conference are definitely, they're coming with the same mindset that they want to win it, and then the only way to nationals is through winning our conference. So it's like everybody knows that that's where you got to start, and from there I believe there's only one or two bids from this region. So it's like it's just taking each step, until you get to nationals down there in Danville and just, going out there and playing hard. Because ultimately it's like if you
Yeah.
don't make it past here, then you not gonna get there.
Who are you guys matching up with the first game of the year?
Ironically, our first like game that we play is against my old prep school. They come up for a game, and that's on the 11th of October.
So
Yeah, that's on the 11th.
16th.
Yeah, that's on the 11th, and then we play Norfolk,
Okay.
which is a Division II college. We play them on the 16th. We play them on the
Okay.
16th. That's when
Okay.
our schedule officially kicks off. Yep.
Okay. Nice. So you guys both played prep. So how was it traveling around and like playing on all those tournaments on the prep level? Because you guys saw a lot of different kind of players, and I'm sure you guys saw a lot of coaches as well.
Yeah, yeah. From my experience, might have been a little bit different than him, but we played a lot of games. We played maybe 40, upwards of 40, 50 games throughout.
Oh, dang.
From
That is
like
a lot.
October, November to March. So we always we were we traveled to New Hampshire, Connecticut, throughout different parts of New York, and just all around that area. But we also we played in a couple tournaments. Farther away, we played in Vegas in December, and that was a fun experience.
Oh, that's sweet.
Traveling with the team and kind of getting that first little experience, of just playing it like just that school ball aspect, but traveling at the same time, and it definitely wears on you. Just trying to juggle school and also flying around all at the same time. But you get acclimated to it, and it was a pretty fun overall experience. And growing closer with some of my teammates from last year. It was just nice to build those bonds with them.
Man,
What about for you, man?
Yeah, definitely. The prep experience was pretty great in regards to just overall what it was like. It really, I feel like that was like a taste of what it would be like to really be a pro. You know what I mean? Almost like where it was like I'm traveling to go and play basketball. You know what I mean? It's like even with the academic side still being there was like it was different because it's like, what I mean, I'm in a hotel room and I'm just like I can, I know that tomorrow I'm about to go and play in front of a full crowd of people. Like when we went to Bishop Gorman, just seeing like a lot of the bigger guys, like I'm usually one of the biggest guys in the gym, like coming from like a lot of the smaller like tournaments that I've been in until like, I started to get older and stuff. But once I got at that level, seeing guys like Kai Soto in person and seeing a guy who's actually 7'3", 7'2", you know what I mean? Like seeing what's the one who went to that went to Howard, one of the Maker. Seeing him like actually play in person was like crazy. Just like in regards to seeing guys like that massive, like actually playing the skilled players, seeing stuff like that, like it was amazing. But in regards to just how much of the world I got to see, or at least America that I got to see, and like in regards to like the experience itself, a lot of my teammates were internationally like brought in.
Yeah.
So seeing like getting to like really take it in from those other cultures and like really getting to like live with people who are like completely different. It just overall like opened up my eyes to a lot more, and just seeing like with people who played pro overseas and stuff like that, now they're coming down to try and play for an opportunity to go to a college like I am. Like stuff like that was just really like eye-opening for a lot of stuff in the basketball world, but also in the real world, like just or the other the outside world, just really like getting to broaden my horizons. Like it was just a lot to take in, and it definitely did.
I can attest to that. Just like you said, being around so many different people, both internationally and nationally, just being scattered about, it definitely gives you a new perspective on we just, for example, we had kids from Africa, Dominican Republic, Canada, throughout, southern part of the United States. So it was just seeing how we all mesh together and seeing how they do things. And then
You guys had some European guys too?
Yeah, we did from Finland. Yeah, we had some Finland guys too. So just it was fun to see, kind of how they just kind of some of their mannerisms and some of the things that they're used to. It's different.
Yeah.
We kind of were able to joke about that, but just on a basketball or from the basketball aspect too, just learning how they approach the game, and you can learn a lot from just how different parts of the world, or people in different parts of the world, their play styles and whatnot. So, and for the traveling too, one of the biggest things, traveling in the middle of the week, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll be in a hotel. And I remember we stayed, I don't remember where it was. I think it was in Queens, New York.
You guys got online school, right? When you guys are doing that, you guys got to be on your computers doing school and stuff.
It was weird because, like, for a lot of time at my school, like, our teacher was one of our coaches. So, like, granted, a lesson might just pop out in a hotel room, and he just like, "Yo, everybody come to this room. We about to go over something." And it kind of did become that for a while, but like even with how much we had traveled, like one of my coaches was a bit older, so it was like when we drove all the way from Indianapolis to Florida, and then from Florida all the way to Connecticut. No, Maine. We drove to Maine. So that was like, yeah. So it was like, bro, we were driving like consistently. So like a lot of our lesson plans would be cut short. And granted, it really did feel at times where it's like you have to really stay engaged within them to make sure that you're keeping track of your academic side of things. Because at the end of the day, it's like it's kind of the experience of like being in college in regards to your academics are driven off of you. It's not anyone who's going to
exactly
that you go to class and you go and do those things. It's setting you up to really be like, I know I need to go and do this work in order to pass this, and that, or I need to go to this class for this, and this.
Yeah.
And everything rides on that. It's not a matter of you just, going because you want to go or you feel like going. It's like, I have to go.
You have to.
Yeah.
What were like things you guys took away from like international guys? Because they play the game differently than guys from America. It's like, did you take away stuff from them?
Definitely. Dude, like looking back, especially from like my Eastern European teammates and like my teammates who were from like Ukraine and like those guys, like my Russian teammates, like everyone, like there was a real, and ironically, but there really was the mix of both. There really was the mix of just like learning how, like, because we also had a guy from who was from where's Luke?
Slovakia or
yeah, I didn't want to mispronounce it, but yeah, we guy from there, and like he told me about Luka, like the year he, whenever he was that he came to the league, it was like then he was like he's gonna be the best player in the league, and it was like kind of like not understanding why he even thought that, but like looking at how
now he is dang near, like he's crazy.
Just seeing like that mind, like learning how to learn, and just like players like that not using like a crazy speed to get to spots, but like using like the ability to attack the angle and knowing what open up and like knowing what counter to go to and like having things like that. Because it was like I had seen it like where one of the guys, his name was Chris Dennis, and he was like, that was the one from he's from Slovakia, and like he played similar in the sense of like he'll like lull you with dribble moves, and then he'll like walk you down, and then he just like hit you with post moves into shots, and like kind of seeing those types of like game styles to like teach you to like slow down and really just like learn how to like play with pace and attack angles, and like not just rush into shots and kind of just force it to where you feel like you just gotta go, like learning how to like play. All right, this move. All right, oh yeah, it's not here, and then like just kind of playing the game like a chess match more than just like running out there and just trying to, break people down and get to the basket as fast as I can, or just get open for the tray as fast as I can. Like really knowing if I do this, he's going to do that. And then from there, he's at my,
I mean, I really feel like there's like an insane gap with like players from Europe with like they rely on their IQ. They're like basketball IQ more. And like players from America. I mean, this could just be my personal opinion. I don't know if you think this too, but like I play players from America kind of rely on like, being in transition, like athleticism, playing fast. And like over in Europe, they rely on shooting and like passing the rock, like being like, getting teammates involved. They just have to play smarter because they're more skilled. They're like ready when you get to that NBA level. Because like a lot of guys from America have time, they need time to develop. Some of them, like some of them are like Zion, and they're like 280 and have like a 46-inch vert and are ready to go. Like, and you don't see many like that.
I definitely think like with that is like it's a big part of just in general how for them it's completely different. And this is like stuff that I learned like when you're over in different like European countries and stuff like that in regards to when it comes down to basketball and like academics and all of that stuff, like they do their primary school to a certain extent, but then it's like if you decide that you want to play a sport, like you really will invest your time into that as like your primary thing. Like you're not just a student no more.
Yeah,
like,
they don't go to school. They just go to the Euro League. That's it.
Yeah,
they're doing it at 14.
Yeah. So it's like I think that like with knowing that, especially like when you're younger and you're playing at a higher level, you can't play above the rim forever. I don't care who you are. I mean, unless you're Vince Carter, because that's the only exception. It's like
Vince Carter couldn't play above the rim forever though either. I mean, he 40 years old, you get to the point where you can't dunk on people, but
facts. But I'm saying like the fact that you still dunk is just crazy. He's like 46, 47.
Yeah, I mean
like, stuff like crazy. But it's like guys kind of, I think they're more like understanding of that at like overseas and stuff. I think they realize that, the way that basketball is going to be played is if you can master these skills, you can almost play forever. Versus if you try and just hone your game off of athleticism or just trying to like find, ways to use your quickness and like just burst, it's easy to lose that over time. It's like that can naturally be lost. You know what I mean? Regardless if you keep it, you're staying on top of your body or not, there's always going to be that natural step once, father time comes, looking for you. So I think that just in regards to like really them having that understanding of like basketball on the level of I can play like this until I'm 48 because of the fact that I know when I post you come off the screen super slow and then I pull, because you went under. It's like just knowing those types of things will always like set you apart and it'll be able to keep you going for longer. And granted, it's like it's a lot for sure. Definitely.
I mean, it's just repetition. It's just repetition. They do it over and over and over and over again. It's just constant. Definitely. So Noah, I want to touch on your knees again because so the training here at Jackson, like, have they like kind of like sped up your process and like getting back on the court 100% as fast as possible? Like since you came here, like have they really like helped you out with it a lot?
I mean, the trainer and I have been in contact, but really, I kind of was just told to rest for, the 2 to 3 weeks. Just now, I'm able to start to come back. Tomorrow, actually, I'll be clear to start on the bike. Get started that, just progressively increasing that movement, and then I should be officially cleared from the orthopedic surgeon that did my injections next Wednesday.
Okay.
But still, I just making sure I don't overload it too soon. I'll definitely be working with her more aggressively, just to make sure I'm just little by little preparing my body for the season, and not doing too much to the point where that tendonitis starts to creep back. Another battle I have to deal with, but so far, like I said, I've just been taking it really easy. The most I've done is our pool workouts. We'll go up to Ann Arbor and go up to the Y, and just do some workouts that we put together just from researching. Those have been really good, just for kind of getting that feel of moving around again, but still not putting too much pressure on my knees. So
So how close are you going to be to 100% before the season? Are you going to be like almost there?
I think I'll be almost there. Right now I feel good. It's really just about gauging, the discomfort level with going through certain things, and maybe it's very, very light soreness after some things. But just a lot of stretching. A lot of just like, for example, wall sits. That's one of the things I'll do.
Yeah.
Do elevated stuff right now, and then just strengthening hips, glutes, quads, hams, all the stuff around it.
Do you have any worries about missing time during the season at all? Like missing any games for knees or no?
No, not right now. I'm not sure if I'll play in the aim high scrimmage. Probably purely off of conditioning. I don't know if I'll be in shape yet. I might come out and have a minute restriction or something. But I've kind of just decided to cross that bridge when we get there. I think just progressively, just very little thing like just taking a limited amount of jump shots per day, or just doing ball handling for a certain amount of time, stuff like that. Really taking it easy because I'd done this procedure before during prep school actually, and came back way too soon. The rest time usually was like 4 to 6 weeks, and I came back, playing full games a week and a half later. So
Yeah.
that was right back. So just being real intentional with just being patient and making sure I give my body that time it needs to get back to where it should be.
So is the coaching staff like kind of preaching like don't rush?
Definitely. They're excited to have me back. The head coach is the only one who's seen me play live in person. We had an open run with some of the guys on the team, and then just some other dudes that play at JUCOs around the state before school started. But there's no rush, with getting me back. Right now they're focused on getting me healthy, so I'll be a valuable asset, going down the road, and have to hopefully deal with these things coming up later down the road.
So how excited are you for the season to start? Are you guys just ready for it to get going?
Yeah. No,
you good.
So for me, personally speaking, I'm definitely excited, but also just taking this time, to really just lock in and be focus on the little things, polishing up, just how sharp our team looks, just the chemistry, and learn how everybody else on the team, things like that. But definitely getting out there and playing, again, I'm really excited for that.
What about you, Azyah? What are you most excited about?
And honestly, I'm excited just to really get back into the process, man. Like, it's usually a lot going through it all, but it's like I love it. Honestly, I genuinely love it. Just the grind, the ups to downs. Really getting to just see what it's like to play basketball at a higher level. Every year I try my best to come back better than I did the year before, but this year especially, it's like I don't really see as many outside distractions being in front of me. What I mean? Last year it was a different one. It's a bit of a doozy, but it's for sure this year I think I'm gonna be able to put my best foot forward. I really expect a lot of big things to happen this year. On all fronts, like not to throw too much out there, but I do. I think for my team success, I think there's gonna be a lot out of it. Yeah, a lot of it for real.
Hey, well, I'm excited for you guys both. I can't believe you guys are teammates. That's kind of crazy to me, to be honest. Like, did you ever see like a world like ever you guys would be on the same college team? Like, did you ever think that was even possible?
All right, honestly, what's crazy about it? My grandpa had been saying it for like the past year. No, scratch that. For like the past 3 years, he was like saying we were gonna play college together, and it was weird because like during our paths, like you would see like all this stuff that were kind of leading us to think that it would be otherwise. Like I started out, before I came to the junior college level, I started out at a Division II school. Because it was like only visit I took during COVID
Yeah.
was to it. Like every other visit I had lined up got canceled, or I wasn't important. You know what I mean? You still get the call.
I mean, it was a tough time for a lot of players then.
It was just weird for me, but it like brought me, around to this point. And then it was just as if, because last year I tried to get Noah to come here, and it didn't seem like too practical at the time. But it was like through his later experiences and stuff, it kind of just worked out. So it's like with that, I really think, what I mean, I thought it would happen maybe like at the next level, but it happened now. So it's like it definitely is pretty cool to see.
I got to see some alley-oops from you dudes though. I have to. I got to see it.
That's already on the. That's on the agenda.
All right. Is there anything you guys want to say before I kind of close out this pod?
And I'm really proud of you, dude. I know just as a friend, bro, it's great to see it and part of it. Next time, I'm hoping to, be on here and have some more to talk about. Have some stuff where I could be telling you where I'm going to school next, and
Yeah.
from there, growing alongside you, bro. Honestly, it's been great to see it, and I knew you'd find a niche. So most definitely, when I give you your kudos and your props.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you both for hopping on and taking time to answer my questions and everything. Good luck with the season. I wish you the best of luck. I will definitely be keeping an eye on you guys. I'm going to be monitoring your season success, so you better note that.
I can't shoot below 50%.
No 54% from free throw line.
He'll be all right.
I can't be selling from the line.
At least 70%, so I can look at it and be like, all right, he's shooting 70%. I can,
But hear me out. I shot 40 conference in three. From three, that balances out. Like the same amount of shots, I shot better from three than I did.
He's just still working on getting that full 3 level. He still needs that.
I was a 2.5 at that point, but now it's the full 3 level. So definitely.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, I really appreciate you guys hopping on. But this is going to go ahead and do it for today's episode of the Take Podcast. This is Azyah Brown and Noah Gathings of Jackson Community College in Michigan. Make sure to check them out this season. Stay tuned. But this is going to go ahead and do it. I appreciate for everyone tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.